Hi everyone. In this last section, we talk how do organizations actually go about delivering value. We'll get a sneak peek at how we navigate our external environment, determine a target market, and set our marketing mix in relation to that target market and external environment. So this is all about how our plans are carefully crafted responses to bring about exchange by providing value. So, how do we go about delivering value and thereby fulfilling those needs? Well, here's you, your organization, and you're part of this large external environment that impacts us all, and with all these different groups of people and publics. Everything. So, what we'll do here is we're going to talk how our firm selects the particular people they wish to target and how they customize what's called their marketing mix or program to try and make that exchange between the organization and the market possible. And so the marketer isn't taking actions in some void. There are lots of factors external to the firm that can influence the results of even the most detailed plan. For example, a recession might change what your customers demand or whether you can get financing. A competitor affects what your customers might do. It could be a major change to what your suppliers can do. Here's another example. Broadband coverage for suburban and especially rural areas in the US is of key interest to many parties. Businesses, government, and schools, medical providers, nonprofit groups, whole industries like the agricultural industry, all trying to fulfill their missions but needing to address that environmental force. Sometimes the environmental force may at first seem completely unrelated, but it might still impact how customers come to know you and value your offerings as something that can address their needs. So, for example, names. Did you know there was a yogurt company called Gaga's? Or both? A coffee company and a ballet company called Joffrey's? Or more recently, Delta Airlines and Corona Beer during the COVID-19 pandemic. So we will cover external environmental forces in depth in chapter 3. For now, just remember we must account for these uncontrollable factors. We only can respond to them. So the heart of your marketing strategy is what's called the target market, a group of customers targeted by marketing programs that are likely to buy your product. It is who we tailor our marketing mix toward. Basically, the marketing mix are variables we can actually control. The customers themselves are not controllable to us, but we can decide who we choose to try to target and how we tailor our plans. So keep in mind they need to be able and willing to buy, but they have to be useful. Target market should not be everyone or everyone who breathes. See, no. Instead, it needs to help focus and pinpoint your plan. So they need to be able and willing to buy, but they should have shared characteristics such as how to find them, what they like, how they'll respond to an ad campaign, and so on. Big idea is these shared characteristics make it easier to craft our marketing plan. However, once you group people, you can't just leave it. Target markets are dynamic. They change with time. Customers come and go. For example, the target market for certain makeup products is for teens 13 through 17, and they eventually grow out of it. Yes, there are more teens to replace those that are left, but now you gotta make sure they've got similar needs, and even if they do, you gotta tell them about you. A major concern right now is how Gen Z and millennials are both digital natives, but they use technology very differently. External elements can also change customers' desires, preferences change, technology changes, and so on. We'll be talking quite a bit about how we distill a large group of customers into a target market throughout the book, and particularly our chapter on segmentation. So, in sum, target markets are as large or as small as they are useful. Marketers must remember to see how their target markets change and alter their marketing strategies accordingly. So, just as a nice visual example, why do we have all these different cookies? Well, different target markets with different needs. All cookies, all aim toward different target markets. Marketers slightly alter the product to appeal to different customer needs. These can be all found at our supermarkets. Keep in mind, a person can be part of many target markets, so think about all the times where you have wanted different types of a product. So, this is that marketing concept in action. So, now on to the marketing mix, which represents the strategies and tools we can use to respond to our world. How do we market a value based offering? So, marketers make many decisions when developing their marketing mix. The factors we control that we use to satisfy target customers by providing something of value. So, these are the 4 P's of the marketing mix: product, that is the primary good, service, or idea used to satisfy needs; place, a means of getting the product to the customer in a safe, usable, and timely condition; promotion, a means to communicate between the organization and other actors, especially customers; price, what is exchanged for the product. Each of these contribute to satisfy customer needs and work together to build that value-based offering. No single area is more important than the others. They're all interconnected. In fact, when we develop a marketing mix, the 4 P's are made in relation to each other, shifting one with the other. And so remember, these 4 P's in the marketing mix are those factors a marketer can control. We can decide on who we want to target, but we can't directly control a customer's behavior. So marketing plans always encompass all 4 of these P's. And effectively, a plan may tweak all or maybe just one of them. So in sum, your marketing plan will center on your marketing mix, your blend of the strategies for each of the 4 P's: product, place, promotion, and price. The marketing manager can control each component of the marketing mix, but for optimal results, these need to work together. So let's focus first on product, the value-based offering consisting of everything, good and bad, included in the offering. So the product is the starting point of our marketing mix, and it's pretty difficult to build promotions and prices and distribution without knowing your product. So the product is not only the physical unit, if any, but packaging, warranty, sales service, brand name, company image, value, all sorts of things. Products may be tangible goods, services, ideas, and often they're a mix. So tangible goods like cookies, services like getting your dog a haircut or going on a cruise, or ideas such as giving money or your time to a nonprofit, or a vote to a political candidate for a certain platform. So again, you'll notice that a lot of these to an extent are a combination of value. Place. This is the way we get the products in usable condition at the right place and time for customers. The objective for the place or distribution element of the marketing mix is to get that right product to the right consumer in the right place at the right time in the right quantity and in the right condition, hopefully all at a reasonable cost. And remember, this includes digital distribution, such as how you can download movies or the way you access service or content through apps. Promotion. This is the one we hear a lot about when we think of marketing. Promotion is all about communication. communications from marketers to the customer in order to elicit a response, especially. This is the part that includes things like advertising, personal selling, public relations, sales promotions, and direct marketing. Promotions have multiple roles, including informing, now open, educating, this product can do this, persuading, we're better than this product, and reminding, hey, still here. So, in sum, promotion is all about communication. Price is the final item of the 4Ps, what the buyer exchanges for the exchange to happen. So, things like money, waiting, other considerations. It's usually the most flexible of the 4Ps, but its strategy is a key part to the overall offering. Don't treat it like an afterthought. So here's an example. If you saw a car typically priced below average, you wouldn't consider it a luxury car, but having a price that's quite high might signal to the consumer that it's luxury good. Likewise, if you see a car like this, really lowly price, it might give pause. So in sum, price centers the value meant to be exchanged by the various parties. So speaking of price, how many of you, don't be shy, sometimes use price and cost interchangeably? So worry not if you sometimes use the words interchangeably. Many of you work intimately with costs, expenses, and revenue, so you know the difference. But many of us still slip up by using cost when we mean price. Because previously, your cost as a consumer was primarily the price of the object. Sure, you could think of how you would be willing to buy an extra dollar to not park so far or must wait in line, but really, most of the time, the cost is the primary product's price. In the business and organizational world, price is not the same thing as cost. To the seller, price refers to how much revenue, usually in the form of money, they get from a transaction. It is a source of profits. Meanwhile, cost is something they need to expend to sell something. For example, the baker, the price is something he can set when selling his bread. His costs may include ingredients like flour and butter, salaries for himself and helpers, paying interest on loans, money to keep the water and other utilities running, and so on. The baker could set the price at how much it cost him to make that loaf, but that's not a given. So the price is something the user, or rather the seller, usually sets. It can equal his cost or sometimes even below his cost, but usually, as you can imagine, he wants to set the price higher than his costs. He wants to have extra profit because you can reinvest in business, make investments, get bonuses, all that good stuff. Meanwhile, for customers, there we are, there's my mouse. The price is what they must pay to acquire said product. The buyer does often experience additional costs that come with the transaction beyond just the money paid, such as time and effort to get there. For example, you might have had to wait to find a parking space for this bakery. In sum, price does not equal cost, but they do have a lot to do with each other when determining price. So, question, how do organizations actually go about delivering value? How would you answer? Okay, so this is how I put it. Our marketing mix is tailored to offer something to a target market with them, us, and the rest of the external environment in mind. So this brings us back to that marketing concept, the way the firm must align itself to fulfill both customer needs alongside their organizational goals. The firm must provide customer value. So customer value is a difference between the benefits a customer perceives they're getting versus the perceived costs of obtaining those benefits. As you can imagine, customers would prefer the benefits be higher margin than the costs. When organizations offer products, what they're doing is offering a customer value proposition, clusters of benefits and costs that can satisfy customer needs. So a few considerations to customer value. First, notice this is all perceived value by the customer. So perceived means it is based on their perceptions and inherently subjective. So different customers will see benefits and costs in different ways. Next, different customers will value different things. So imagine you're shopping for a Lego fan in your life. The stores are bustling, the weather's kind of cold and temperamental. Discounts are more likely in stores versus online. What would you rather do? You can imagine some will find shopping in person thrilling, even if it's really crowded. Others gladly pay more for someone to deliver those Legos to their doorstep. It's not just money we value. Second, value is influenced by alternatives. So competition is a big one. It makes a difference if you are the only lemonade stand on the block versus if Susie is selling her special brand lemonade down the street. Finally, customers may not always dwell on value as a key determinant of buying behavior. When was the last time you price checked something sometimes? It's not likely you did this for each of the last 10 things you purchased. So I encourage you to watch this video because it well shows how marketing is often about getting the customer to perceive the customer value you think you're offering. This video is by Don Houston and it's about 8 minutes. And yes, it is older and it has a slow start, but like the pitch, it grows in intensity. And this will be posted to the Blackboard as well, so you can look there too. So in sum, it's crucial to know what is important to your customers and how they estimate value to understand what to offer. So here's a quick quiz. A smartphone maker is attempting to increase the customer value associated with purchases of its products. Which of the following might be a way to achieve this increase in value? A. Reduce the price. B. Increase technical support for customers. C. Increase warranty coverage. D. Offer free shipping. E. Any of the above depending on the needs of the target market. Okay, so what did you get? Well, the answer is E. Customer value is the difference between the benefits a customer perceives a marketing offering to have versus the cost of obtaining those benefits. So E is the best answer because we don't know enough about what this target market actually values. All of these are possible ways to increase value, but we will not know which one or ones until we know more about the market we're talking about. So you can imagine how you yourself may be willing to pay for each of these attributes differently depending on your product and situation. So with that, each chapter will always include a looking back slide. This slide is meant to have you reflect on what you have learned. It is a time for considering not only what you learned, but what does it mean? What can I do with it? The examples provided gives you an idea what are some basic actions you might now be able to do. They are also useful to understand what I may be asking you to do on later assignments. So with that, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to contact me on the Q&A discussion board or emailing me directly. And so I hope you are having a good day or evening so far. And whatever ideas you have, whether these questions or who knows how far or deep or where, I hope you take your ideas, run with them, see where they lead you. Take care.